This is a Your Black World TV exclusive. Welcome to On The Real. I'm your host, Tiara Williams. Here on The Real, we talk about real issues that are affecting our African American community and trying to find solutions through conversation. So, let's get this conversation started. Meet my real talkers.
Quentin Miles, Washington, D.C.
Hi, Channing Bias from Los Angeles, California.
Johnnie Hall, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And of course, here on The Real, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ratchet of the African American community. So, let's get this conversation started. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
Alrighty.
Awesome. Well, it is now time for our ratchet rundown. Rundown. Okay, so we all know of these new black sensations, these interviews that across America they're having with these different black people, and somehow this instant stardom is coming from Ted Williams to now Charles Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys?
Don't forget about the boy Antoine.
Oh, Antoine Dobson,
And
right?
Sweet Brown.
Sweet Brown. Ain't nobody got time for
Oh
that.
Lordy.
Oh Lord, there's a fire. Lord Jesus, there's a fire.
Jesus, there's a fire.
I mean, what do you guys think about that? Because, I mean, it's funny, but it's like, that's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
Especially with Sweet Brown.
Oh man. Okay, so first of all, let's just say kudos to Mr. Ramsey for being a hero and assisting and helping these three women in Cleveland, regain their lives and regain their freedom from this monster. But
what about the comment?
Yeah, kudos. The comment that he made, he knew something was
Wrong.
wrong when a little pretty white girl ran at this black man's arms. Dead giveaway. I'm laughing because that is real.
Is that real?
Yes.
Do you think a pretty little white girl had ever run into his arms?
And a man who, not no offense to Mr. Ramsey, but a man who looked like him. No offense. You know what I mean?
Right.
That
No offense.
No offense, please. Oh, I feel bad saying that. But I mean, if you think about the stereotype of it, here he was, this man in a white t-shirt, missing some teeth, hair out and white. I mean, he just was the quintessential black male stereotype, what you would expect for him to be. But he could speak very clearly. I understood everything he was saying.
Absolutely.
Fantastic storyteller. I'll give him that. And what he did, it should be applauded and should be praised because he went against social norms to help this person, because how many of us would have done what he did?
And got an endorsement.
Yeah.
Or a possible endorsement.
Well, yeah, let's just talk about that, though. It's not about the story. I mean, I raised the roof to all of them. I mean, I get it. But them becoming sensations and overnight successes, with Sweet Brown, she has a commercial. She had a Comedy Central thing. What do you guys think of that, Johnny?
Let me jump in. I think, and not to talk about any specific group or people, but buffoonery always has a front stage. Anytime you can make a race or a person look bad, it's entertaining. Mm-hmm. And it's just sad that we always have to be the butt of everybody's jokes. And anytime you see something happen, the media goes after the craziest craziest looking person. Mm-hmm. You'll be 200 people out there.
They'll pass me by and be like, let's get her.
Let me get her. Somebody with rollers in her hair.
Scarf.
Fat. With a big robe on. No, for real. With a big robe on, with missing teeth. Let's get her story because she's the only one out here. Mm-hmm. And they know it's stereotypical, but when you see someone like that, they're going to say something. Ignorant.
You be like, oh man, why they have to
So
get
her? Let's put her on the media and project this image to the world.
The Charles Ramsey one was a little different from the other ones.
What,
yeah.
Sweet
It was a little better.
It
was a little better.
Absolutely.
Like
Sweet Brown.
His situation was actually newsworthy.
Right.
Yes.
Like legitimately newsworthy.
Yes.
Right.
And he just happened to be how he is. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, Dobson,
Well, no, his was somewhat newsworthy because he was.
I mean, no, it wasn't that
against a prowler.
It wasn't that it was. It wasn't as newsworthy.
He didn't do anything.
But it went viral.
Yeah.
And nobody in particular controls the things that go viral.
Right.
They go viral or they don't go viral. You know what I'm saying? So, just on that front, I can't say that there was some master plan or some agenda to push those people into the limelight, whatever it's called.
So I want to talk a little bit about other cultures benefiting from us, from Black culture, and how we feel about that. From we look at people like Amy Winehouse and Justin Timberlake and Adele, and I love all of those artists, but they're benefiting tremendously. It's like now people don't really want to hear Beyonce sing soul, but they'll take Adele over Beyonce.
Well, I understand obviously that the influences are coming from Black people, Black culture, and everything else. But I think when it comes to music is something that anyone and everyone can learn. Music is something that can heal or it can divide. And most of the time, it does bring people together. So as someone who can appreciate the art, I think that I shouldn't blame Justin Timberlake or Adele for having such a soulful sound, because that was the gift given to them. If all of us could do it, we would. But those weren't the gifts given to us to use in that way. But I think that when it comes down to, I think what people want, they want the recognition. They want, Adele to say, yes, I'm a white English woman, and I understand that soul music came from Black people. I get it, and let me salute the Black people who came before me. That's what they want. They want us, we want the recognition, or people who have something to say about it, they want to hear the recognition. But I don't think that you can blame this person for being talented and for going after their dream of wanting to be a performer, wanting to sing, and this is the type of music that moves their soul. I can't hate on that.
I mean, I just want to surpass the idea that it just happens in music, because it happens across the board. Other cultures being able to benefit from things that came from our community, but we're not able to benefit from them.
I mean, I think it's a double-edged sword, because everything comes from us some way or form. So for them, the very few that actually are talented enough to be able to sing soulfully, to be able to bridge over it and be successful in it, kudos to them, because there's not a lot that can do it. So when you do get the Justin Timberlakes, the Adele, they're very rare. So that's why they are phenoms, because they are rare. And no, they don't say that, well, I got our music from, or I like such and such or whatever, and that's okay, because they show it through their music. But what I have a problem with is not so much them being successful, it's the fact that everyone is making millions and billions off of our talent, off of things that came from us, besides us. We're not making no money, but everyone else is getting rich off of our labor, off of our talent, off of our sports abilities. That's the real problem. Is we need to learn how to come together. We need to learn how to do distribution. We need to learn how to start our own sports teams. We need to learn how to be owners instead of laborers.
I mean, I think a lot of people do that once they're in a position where they can do it.
We're talking strictly about cultural appropriation. I think we do make money on our own culture. I don't know if it's like a mutually exclusive thing where these the Adeles and the JTs are making money and the Beyoncés and the Rihannas are not making money. Them making money from soul or whatever you want to say it doesn't mean that people from within our culture are not also making money. And it could be said the same thing of like a Hootie, from Hootie and the Blowfish. He sings country music. People could be like, oh my goodness, he's taking white people's music. Why don't you just go sing soul? Come on, Hootie. I mean, I don't know. At some point, the cultures do intersect. And I think that's what we've seen in hip-hop culture as of late. Like the face of hip-hop culture is changing.
It has so much to do with the globalization of the products that we put out. We as Americans, I feel like we export more entertainment into the world than anything else. We are putting out images that change lives and that transform the way that people look at us and think about us. And so that's really what it is. And if you like something, you want to emulate it. You know, you want to imitate that because that's what you're into. But what we have to remember is that it's there in the world, and we are the ones who are technically putting it out there because we're using our own forms of expression. And I can't be upset because some kid over in Switzerland likes what Jay-Z is doing and he wants to emulate that. I can't be mad at that.
Okay, but let me jump in. And this, what you just said, kind of goes back to what we was talking about earlier. Yes, Americans are projecting worldly, but look at the images of black people that they're projecting. That's why I said we need to take control of ownership so we can project our own images instead of the buffoonery that they're projecting for us. When you go over to England, when you go over to Germany and Asia and all these other cultures, they are scared of black people. They think that we are ignorant, that we are all these things that they see from the limited exposure that they see from us, or the buffoonery that they see, which they're putting out there.
I mean, you can go to the suburbs in LA and do that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
No, absolutely.
But I'm just saying on a global
Yeah.
scale, because we don't have ownership of our own images in a lot of ways. We don't own our own images.
So is there music, or is there things, can something be exclusively black?
I mean,
my
no.
skin color.
Well, you're that.
I mean, honestly, that's the only thing that I can think of. Because that, and I think that this is also another thing that sort of bothers me a little bit, because I understand what it means to be black, and I never want to kind of go out and offend someone. But for us as black people, we're always talking about how we want to be equal, we got to push for change and everything else. But as soon as we want to expand and be treated as equal citizens, it's, no, but this is mine. You know what I mean? Like, no, you can't have this. This is for me. This is me only. And to a certain extent, it's like, if you want to be looked at as a people, as in a whole and in general, embrace the fact that you have some blackness in you and this is our culture, but also understand that just as people in general, those cultures are going to collide, and we can't have anything that's just exclusively black.
Go
ahead. I'm done.
Having something exclusively black seems like it could be a hindrance, though. Because in cultures, we're always talking about evolution, we're always talking about change, we're always talking about assimilation, both good and bad, you know, because not all assimilation is bad. I know it has a negative connotation, but some assimilation is good. You know, it's survival, or whatever the case is. But it just seems if we start to hold on to things, then we won't continue to progress and assimilate as others have assimilated into our culture. But even the African American culture is a grab bag of many different cultures. There's been many different influences, you know, both Caucasian, African, Irish. I mean, all these things that we couldn't even necessarily trace, but especially because we live in America, those influences are all around us. They are, and they change us in our culture all the time.
Well, case in point, here living in California, I am not Latino American at all, but darn it, I can make a mean taco and some pico de gallo and salsa and all of this, and that's not something that we eat in my culture. Do you see what I'm saying? So is it bad that I enjoy carne asada burritos? You know what I mean? And I like tequila. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that people have to start thinking about just on another level. What's only exclusively to me is my blackness, my skin color, because I can take on any and everything else.
Hey guys, this has been a really interesting conversation, but I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me here on The Real, and thank you for joining me. If you have an experience that you would like to share, join our conversation. Go ahead and click that like button down there, and we will see you